What's up guys, it's Talon. Today I'm going to be going over roaming as a support, when you should, when you shouldn't roam, what type of factors you need to take into account, all of these types of things. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, so this first clip, what's very important to pay attention to is that I see them backing at this exact moment. Since I know that they're backing in the top lane, that means that we have a moment to do something with the extra time that we have while they're in their base, the duo lane that is. So what I do is as soon as possible, I instantly hit the wave and get my ADC to push this lane. This way, I'm creating an opportunity for me to roam while there's no minions in the lane, meaning they can't take anything in terms of turrets or gold or anything like that, and they're also stuck farming the wave in the top side of the map. This gives me an opportunity to easily roam to the mid lane and look for a potential kill on Vex while the duo lane is still stuck on the top side of the map. This allows us to get an easy kill on the Vex and just create a very nice opportunity to just roam and have a nice early kill on the mid laner. Okay guys, so just as much as it's important to roam, it's also just as important to understand when not to roam. And one situation where you really aren't going to want to be looking for a lot of roams in is when you're doing very well in lane and you're getting one of your hyper carry scaling ADCs very far ahead. So if you're going to look here, I'm just going to kind of fast forward. You're going to see we're going to get a double kill. Unfortunately, I'm going to get the kill and my ADC won't, but that's not too important. But basically what this means is we have a big advantage in lane. We get a back off and we have an early power spike. That means we can continue to use this lead and snowball ourselves further and get our AD carry even more ahead. So you're going to see I'm going to play very aggressively. I'm going to look for a lot of trades and we're going to get another kill onto the Jhin, and this time it's going to go onto my Kai'Sa. So just because we're able to stomp this lane so early, we're able to get a lot of plates, we're able to stay in lane, get my Kai'Sa super far ahead, and just generally continue to snowball this game and just get a lot of kills. You're going to see here, once again, we're going to get some more kills, and our jungler is going to play around us rather than us rotating to other parts of the map. So when you just have very big advantages in lane and the early game goes very well for you, keep looking for more and more kills, keep trying to snowball in that lane rather than trying to go to other parts of the map that maybe aren't going as well. Okay guys, so this next clip is not necessarily roaming, but it's kind of leaving your lane to make sure you provide vision for ADC. So here we're going to get a nice double kill, and after this, Kai'Sa is going to clear the wave, and she's pretty low, so she's not really going to want to go for plates, but what I can do instead is I can walk forward, and I can go try to find their jungler, which I end up successfully doing, so that my Kai'Sa is completely safe. I protect my Kai'Sa by just simply standing here, and the Pyke and Vi have to focus me instead of my teammate. Now, I make a mistake because I don't flash early enough, which means that I end up dying. But even though I die, we get 2 plates, which is 300 gold, which is just as much gold as you get from killing me. Not to mention, our gold goes onto a Kai'Sa, while their gold goes onto a Vi and a Pyke, which we would definitely prefer the gold to go onto a Kai'Sa compared to that. Additionally, I get out a couple ultimates, so I do mess up by not flashing earlier enough. I could have survived that. I did make a mistake on there, but regardless, it's very important to sometimes, instead of just staying in the lane and hitting the tower with your teammate, if you can, try to find their jungler, if you know it might be pretty safe to do so, or do things like I did there, just positioning myself in between the turret and my teammate. That way my teammate's able to safely farm. Those are some good ways to get some extra gold under AD carry. Again, I didn't play that as well as I could have, but the thought process is definitely there. Okay guys, so this next example of roaming is a bit more extreme, and I don't recommend choosing to do this in most situations. But if your lane ends up going very, very poorly, such as this one here, we're down like over 1,000 gold already to the Lucian. We made a lot of mistakes early on in the lane. Sometimes you can just decide to completely leave your ADC and just go to other parts of the map and try to help out those parts of the map so you can have an advantage somewhere, because it's better to be down a ton of gold in one lane and then be up a ton of gold in another lane than to just be behind a good amount in every lane. Now again, there's not very often you're going to want to do this, but in certain games where it really does seem like you're just definitely going to lose if you just keep staying in lane and you're just going to die because they just get so far ahead, those are the situations where you want to do that. So you're going to see here, I'm going to come back to the lane. I'm going to try to hit for Kai'Sa so that she can at least get the wave push a little so they can't pressure her under tower as much, and then immediately I'm just going to leave again. I'm just deciding, all right, for the rest of the game pretty much, now that first dragon's almost up, I'm just going to go to other parts of the map. I'm going to see what I can do, because I think we're definitely going to lose this game if we just stay in lane because of how far ahead the Lucian is. You're going to see, I'm going to fast forward a bit here. I'm going to end up coming to top lane. We're going to camp top lane. We're going to end up getting a kill top lane. And I think we do overextend. I think we end up dying here. So don't play it perfectly. Again, the thought process is what's important here, not always the result. And we still end up getting 2 kills and trading somewhat evenly here. We're going to end up, unfortunately, losing that overall. But again, you're going to see that I keep doing it. I keep going topside, keep playing for other parts of the map. And it doesn't always work out, but you see here, we got a kill onto the Tristana. We keep getting some gold onto us. And then there's another important thing to note, and that's once you get to these parts of the game, where the enemy ADC is really fed because you'd allowed him to, because you messed up the lane early and then you decide to roam to other parts of the map. It's very important that once you get to team fights, you're making sure you target him. That way he can't be as useful, even if he has a lot of gold. And I'm going to show you guys that in the next clip. Okay guys, so we successfully made it to the late game. You can see here, because of my roams, and because you can see how many assists I have, the top in the jungle of my map are significantly farther ahead of their top in their jungler. Meanwhile, my ADC is down 3,000 gold. We can see very clearly their Lucian is by far the strongest member of their team, and he is definitely the problem in the team fights. So what am I going to do now that I've gotten to this point where I've gotten certain parts of the map ahead while other parts of the map are further behind? Well, you're going to see here at this Elder Dragon fight, which I'll skip forward to in just a second, we're going to just simply be targeting the Lucian. You're going to watch me make dumb plays and just completely disregard my own life just simply to make the Lucian not able to deal damage in the fight. I'm going to trust that my teammates who I got fed are going to be able to carry the fight. Meanwhile, I simply just try to keep their carry out of the fight because I'm just simply a support. As much damage as I can tank from the Lucian is all I need. I need to just make space for my teammates to deal damage. So I'm going to skip forward. I'll just actually let it play out. So you guys are going to see again, I'm going to literally target lock on the Lucian using Portrait Lock as soon as I can find him. So again, they int here. It's a very dumb mistake from them. But you can see here, I'm just walking at the Lucian. I'm ulting him. I'm flashing onto him. I'm gargoyling. I'm just making sure I can take as much damage as possible. Again, I'm going to walk at the Lucian. I'm just going to keep him out. As long as he's not able to deal damage, we can win. I acknowledge the fact that I'm going to let this Lucian get fed due to the bad early game. And then from that point, I'm just going to make sure that that Lucian has a really tough time playing the game because of how much I target him. Now again, doing this is obviously very risky because you're letting a Lucian or an AD carry or someone get very fed when you decide to roam like this, and it does require the opponents to make mistakes because when your early game goes bad, obviously if the enemy doesn't make mistakes, then they're going to win. So this Tristana especially made a lot of mistakes getting caught out, and that's definitely the biggest reason that we won the game, is because of that Tristana playing quite poorly. But additionally, the thought process of making sure once you allow that guy to get fed, you don't let him play the game. You ult him, you CC him, you flash onto him, you just make his game as hard as possible as a support so that your team can just easily, you know, not worry about him in the fights and just worry about carrying. That's definitely a very important thing that a lot of you guys need to do once you do decide to leave your ADC and roam if the early game goes quite poorly. Okay guys, so the gameplay isn't really relevant to this next clip. I just want to talk about paying attention to what type of ADC you have and what type of dual lane the enemy has when deciding to roam or not. So some certain ADCs are very good at surviving on their own. Champions like Xayah with her ultimate are very good at surviving. Ezreal with his long ranges and his third ability to escape. They're both very good champions at surviving. So when you have those types of champions, you can feel a bit more comfortable leaving them on their own because they're usually going to be able to survive just because of all the tools they have in their kit. Meanwhile, champions like Draven or Miss Fortune with low mobility and low range require a lot more attention early on in the game, so it's less likely that you're going to want to leave them alone because they're probably just going to end up dying a ton. Now additionally, paying attention to the enemies is also very important. So if they're shorter range champions and they're more like enchanters who don't have much CC, it's more often that you can leave them because usually, like say if the enemy is a Tristana Yuumi, they could punish you because they could jump on your ADC, but it's not going to be the same as if the enemy has a Thresh Draven, where if you leave your ADC alone to deal with the Thresh Draven, well then they're just going to die because they're going to get hooked, they're going to get bullied, they're going to lose tower plates. So paying attention to the enemy ADC and duo, as well as paying attention to what ADC you have, is very important for understanding when you can and cannot roam. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed. Once again, let me know if there's anything you'd like me to change in the comments or any type of video ideas you have in the future. You guys really seem to like the coaching video, so I think I'll be trying to do more of that. I've already got some DMs from people willing to possibly get coached by me, so definitely expect more of those in the future, and I'll see you guys later.